Is DeMar DeRozan's future with the Miami Heat? We'll find out on today's episode. Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat basketball channel. My name is Amir. Before I get into the video today, I just want to thank everybody for their continued support of my channel. I'm on my path to 700 subscribers, so if you could please subscribe to the channel, that would mean a lot to me. So there's a report that just came out stating that the Miami Heat could potentially acquire the Chicago Bulls veteran forward DeMar DeRozan. So the Miami Heat are faced with a decision that they need to make before Thursday's trade deadline, and that's whether they want to trade for another player. We already acquired Terry Rozier a few weeks ago, and the Miami Heat are struggling, and we need some help desperately at this point. So are the Heat willing to make a small marginal move and get a power forward or a backup point guard that is making just a few million in salary, or are they willing to make a bigger splash and try to acquire a star and actually focus on the Jimmy Butler build, which is now? We have 1 to 2 seasons left, and I mean as in 2 seasons, as in this season and next, and we can't waste this opportunity. So should the Miami Heat trade for DeMar DeRozan? So the Chicago Bulls, we know they've been apparently interested in trading multiple players, ranging from Caruso to LaVine to DeRozan. And we know that Zach LaVine is now out for the season, so he's not going to go anywhere, and he didn't really have much of a trade market. We know that Caruso probably will yield the most assets for the Bulls. They're looking for a couple first-round picks, which the Miami can't afford, even though he would be a great player for this team. And then DeMar DeRozan, he's on an expiring contract, making $28 million this season. He's 34 years old, former All-Star, 6-time All-Star. He was an All-Star just a couple seasons ago, I believe, with the Bulls, playing pretty well along with Zach LaVine. So two, shooting guard, small forward. So I think he could fit in nicely next to Jimmy Butler, and apparently they have a good relationship. So he is averaging 22 points per game, 5.4 assists, and 4 rebounds this year. And he's shooting 47% from the field and 33% from three, which is not too bad for DeMar. So his future is uncertain. And he was on, or not, excuse me, he wasn't, but on the Athletics show, Run It Back, Shams basically said that DeRozan is potentially, going to be traded before the deadline. And one of the teams that he mentioned months ago or weeks ago was that he would prefer to be traded to the Miami Heat if he's going to be traded. So his camp announced that, made that public. There are 2 teams, the Knicks and the Heat. Doesn't look like the Knicks are viable right now at this point because they've already made some moves. Not sure they can afford him, but that could be a good move for them as well. But either way, the Heat are in desperate need of help scoring. Their offense is just stagnant. 26th or 27th. They're the 26th or 27th in the league in scoring right now in points, in terms of points per game. So we are struggling. We have people that could score, but it just doesn't fit really well right now. And the Heat could potentially use more talent offensively right now because Terry Rozier has just been in a slump. And right now the backcourt duo of Tyler Herro and Terry Rozier has not been working. And one of them needs to be benched. Not sure if Terry wants to be benched. I'm sure he would sacrifice, but at this point in his career, age 29 at his prime, I don't think he wants to be. Tyler definitely doesn't want to be, even though we need to face the facts that he is more like a 6th man versus an all-star. He is more like a Jordan Clarkson, a Jamal Crawford, a Lou Will, which is not a bad thing. Those guys were really good, effective scorers off the bench that helped their team win, and we do better when he's on the bench, right? So I don't think we need to necessarily trade Tyler Herro, but if we're not going to put one of those guys on the bench between Terry and Tyler, we might have to trade one, and we're not going to trade Terry because he's on a friendlier contract, and we just acquired him. Tyler, though, again, interesting. He is definitely fitting in to a certain degree with the Jimmy Butler build, but he's more of an asset for our future. He's 23 years old, super young. DeMar is 34, on the other hand, 11 years older, same age as Jimmy Butler. So we need to stop wasting time now because our championship window is closing. Because once Jimmy's gone, Tyler and Bam aren't it, right? We'll be a good team. We'll compete. We'll be young. We'll have Jaquez in there in the mix. We'll have Jovic in the mix, but we're going to be a young team that's not going to be perfect. So we need to take advantage of Jimmy Butler's window. And DeMar DeRozan, could be a fit. There's going to be spacing issues, as most people are going to mention with DeMar DeRozan. And, he, again, thrives in that mid-range. And so does Jimmy Butler. So does Bam Adebayo. So he's not going to be able to create as much spacing for Bam and Jimmy because, again, he's not much of a three-point threat. But he's capable. He is capable. And he's hitting it at 33%, which is not horrendous, which is not great. But either way, his mid-range is lethal and deadly. He is more consistent than Tyler Herro, honestly. If we look at his stats, he's averaging more points this year than Tyler Herro. He's age 34. Last year, 24 points per game. The year before that, 28 points per game. He's scored 27 points in his career multiple times. Tyler Herro has not done that. His averages are going down. He is inconsistent. So, again, I like Tyler Herro. I just don't know if he is going to fit with our big three. They are below 500 in the last two seasons. They're 31 and 35 or 31 and 36, whatever it may be. Right now, the combo is not working. He's averaging 21 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, pretty similar to DeMar. Shooting way better. He can spread the floor, but again, he's been inconsistent. He's not getting to the free throw line. He's getting 2.5 attempts per game compared to DeMar, who is getting almost 7 attempts. So if he's not going to hit his shots throughout a game, at least DeMar is going to get to the free throw line and get those easy points. So DeMar could be a good fit. I mean, again, he's a 6-time All-Star, savvy player, and we need help scoring right now. We need star talent. As when we played against the Clippers, you noticed that one of the biggest issues was scoring. Defense, we're getting better at that. He's a better defender this year than he has been in the past few. So he's averaging 1.2 steals, which is a career high for him. So he is a capable defender. He is someone who can get a tough shot and a bucket and get to the line. He's not athletic like he used to be, and he's not a high flyer, but he could still somewhat get to the rim. And he has a better jump shot than Jimmy Butler, honestly, at this point. So he could be a good fit. And I don't care about the spacing issues. We have a scoring issue, which is more important. And so if we're going to do this, most likely we're going to have to trade Tyler Herro, unfortunately, because the salaries match. And if we do that, then we don't have to pay Tyler 90 million or so he'll be making over the next 4 years. So we'll have a decision to make on DeRozan based on how well we do, how far we get, and if we win a championship. And we could sign him to a new contract. But getting an expiring contract could be a good thing. I think this team needs a shakeup. It's been 5 seasons and we have not won a championship. All that matters is winning, and we haven't won yet. So who cares that we've made it to the finals? Yes, that's cool. Like, some franchises would dream to get there, like the Minnesota T-Wolves, who are doing good this season, but I still think they're frauds. But anyway, there's teams like the Kings who have not gotten there, or there's teams that have never been there and that would dream to be in our position. And it doesn't really matter, though, because it's been 10 years since we've won a championship. And the last time we won is when we had star players, when we had LeBron, when we had Bosh, when we had Wade. We have some star players, but they're not a good enough combination. You see what happens when star players don't work. Brooklyn had their big three with Harden, Kyrie, and Durant. It didn't work because of injuries mainly, but guess what happens? They didn't try that for 5-6 years in a row. They made moves. You have to trade, and you have to try different things if things aren't working. So what are your guys' thoughts? Do you think DeMar would be a good fit with this team? I think he would be a good fit. At this point, honestly, I'm not 100% sure it's going to make us that much better. I mean, it will make us better, but I don't know if it's going to make us a championship contender because it's already the midway point of the season. We're integrating another star, another 20-point scorer into this rotation. So we have Terry Rozier again, trying to develop chemistry, struggling a little bit. So integrating another player mid-season is tough, but I don't know. I think we need to make some sort of move, and this is one of the only stars that are still available that could make sense. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Would DeMar make sense on this heat? Will it move the needle? Thanks for watching, guys.